Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. This is Connie with Prairie Paper Crafts. Today I'm going to be sharing you the paper piece for this cute little, it's the duck. Oh, just a second here, I have it here. It's the Rainy Frog Umbrella Duck, excuse me. It was a previous free file from KaDoodle Bug Designs. I'm on the design team for them. This is actually just a very small easel card. The duck I'm putting together today, I'm going to set this back there so I have a better view of what I'm putting together. This duck is actually, got the dimensions. So this shadow piece is 4.542 wide, 4.431 high. I will be leaving the description, or in the description box below, here the video, the dimensions for this base piece, and then everything will go together. But I'm going to go ahead and start here. I've got both the card in front of me and the photo up on the screen, so I'm going to see if we can put this together without too many problems, so to speak. There's always problems when I paper piece. I don't care what I do. So just give you a heads up there. Just kind of looking to see. My edges are inked, all of them. So what I do is on any paper piece, and I fail to tell you this sometimes, I do apologize. I treat it, well, I look at the piece and I figure, okay, what goes in the background? What's the very back piece? And that's where I start. And it's KaDoodle Bug Designs. You do have somewhat of a bonus there with this background piece. It can be a hindrance, but it also can be a help. So it's depending upon how you look at it. I like it for two reasons. I like it for that, but I also like it because if I'm making a project other than a scrapbook layout, I have that background piece. I could cut another one of these if I wanted to put something to hold this up, and then I, can hide it better. Excuse me. Just a lot of reasons. Or if I want just a finished background, I don't do well doing that otherwise. So this is a nice way to do it. But what I'm doing, I'm going to put the water on first. Again, I've inked all my edges. Oh, and I'm so sorry. I've had questions about colors and what colors I may use. I will do my best to go through these with you. I'll be honest, I paper piece a lot, and then all of a sudden I'll decide to put the pieces together. I just store them in little Ziploc bags, so I don't always remember. And keep in mind, I use Stampin' Up! Ink mostly. Anything, if it's different, I'll let you know. Also, the type of applicator you use for the ink makes a difference, and the amount of ink you have in your sponge and your applicator, the paper I'm using, because I'm going to give you an example here. I used the same two color inks on these, both pieces, and look how different because of the background paper. So on both of them, I started with Tempting Turquoise, and that's the inner layer. And then on the outside edge, and you can't see it on this one so much, but it's there, I used, if I can get to it, it's a blue color, obviously, but I'm trying to think. I have it here. Marina Mist. I knew it was Marina something. Now keep in mind, some of the inks that I do use have retired from Stampin' Up! So you kind of have to do what you can. You can go in and look maybe at old colors. If you have some very, very old colors, and I say that because I do remember them, some of them, the Marina Mist took over the color of bordering blue. That helps out if you have that at all. But I do like to use my Beacon 3-in-1 on here instead of the more so than the art glitter glue, because I have a little more wiggle room. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to get the pieces on to match the shadow background. Excuse me, I'm very thirsty today. It's so dry. And if you hear pounding noise, I don't know what my neighbor's doing upstairs, but she usually is not noisy. I don't know what's going on. Next piece I'm going to put on is this green piece because it's going to go under the umbrella. And the umbrella is one of the upper pieces that you put on. This one I know I can put on. And I can put the eye part for this one on. Now there are 2 black eyes, and I've got 2 more. Keep them on their different sizes. So you want the smaller of the black circles for this. I didn't sort out my pieces first, I apologize. So I'm looking for some small white circles. If you see little pencil marks on the back, I often do that when I'm paper piecing, then I know which piece is actually going to front and back, so it helps. I'm just going to lay this umbrella on here. Again, I apologize, I shouldn't be working on white with the white background, but I just kind of want to know where I'm putting this, and it's coming out quite far, so good with that. I'm going to leave this here because I'm going to probably do the other eye also. There's no placement for that one, so, and these go toward the top. While I'm doing that, I'm going to make sure I got the smaller eye. Put that on. There's my eye piece right here, right by the dirty marks there on the paper, so you can see it better. Okay. And again, I can put this pretty much right toward the top. Sorry, I was struggling to do videos for a while because it gets a little bit noisy, which I'm okay with, but I hope you guys can put up with it if you can hear it once in a while. Things like that don't bother me anymore. Drives my mother nuts when she comes over, but I'll move this over. Okay, I have to look here a minute at something. You know, there's actually, if you can see with my hands, let me get a black piece of paper. Okay, so here's the umbrella where it will go. This is very helpful for me. Okay, there's the piece for the water, and when I look at the pattern, there's another little piece. That is actually where the eye goes. That is awesome. I don't know if I caught that on the little one. Sometimes when you're working with different sizes of these, especially the bigger ones, things will come out better. So then I just want to get my eyes kind of even and get this piece. So I probably should work on black or something, I'm sorry, but so you can see that it's gonna meet the edge right there. So wonderful. I'm gonna leave this here. You might be able to see me working better. I don't know, better than white on white, I think. Okay, for a minute, I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to put the umbrella together right away. That's pretty simple. You just have these pieces. So you've got 2 that come together here, and then you have 2 outside pieces. This is one of those things that's nice when I'm just not thinking real hard about what I'm doing with paper piecing. That's why I mark the backs. So for this, I'm only guessing that I possibly used, Oh, my computer's kind of in the way of my ink. I'm sorry, I'm working in very small area this anymore. Let me try to get to it. I should write down the colors, but I don't take that much time. That's why it's very difficult to get me colors, because I don't always remember what I used. More than likely on this I used either Granny Apple Green, that's what it's looking like, the base, for a little bit of a shadow coming in, and then probably Mossy Meadow or Garden Green on the outside. I'm sorry, I really don't remember colors very well. And a lot of times I've already got the ink on the sponge daubers, and I just know what color is on there when I'm doing them. So I don't always have a way to keep track of my colors so good. This paper is, I am not sure if it's Green Apple, and I can't think of the company right now. It's on Amazon. It's a really nice paper company. It's fairly reasonable. It's solid core paper, but I can't think of the name of it. It's about 65 weight. It cuts really nice. Just trying to get these even on the edge here. Trying to get that piece even. This is why I used my beacon glue. Trying to get the points and stuff together. If I find the paper company, I'll try to remember to put a link, or put it in the comments, the company name. I buy paper from all different places, but I try not to use, I love American Craft. I just like the texture. Basil is very nice. It's a little bit thicker than I sometimes like to work with, but depending upon what I'm doing and working on, it works well. I really like it. I've used Close to My Heart. I like that paper because it's not quite as thick as, like, Stampin' Up! Paper is wonderful if you're doing cards and boxes and treat containers. They're cardstock. I don't like to cut with it because it's way too thick. So that's why I don't do that. But there is my umbrella. All the pieces on there. I get lots of questions. That's why I just ramble and let you know what I use for papers and stuff. So just to give you an idea. So the next thing I'm looking at is this wing over the black back. This wing up here would be the next thing that is going to be going behind the layer. On here I would have probably used, I gotta figure out how to get to my ink carefully without dropping everything. I apologize. Let me try to get to it better. I think I got it now. Looking for the yellows, just a moment here. Daffodil Delight and Hello Honey on the very outside. Let me get some ink off of here, or glue, excuse me. And I'm just trying to line up the shadow there. And then we can come in with, we'll put the body together here first. This would be the same. All my dark yellows are the same. This would be So Saffron and more than likely Hello Honey on the outside again. I can't say 100% on that, but I'm pretty close. Yeah, it's looking like Hello Honey. Excuse me. I'll start sounding like that frog pretty soon if I don't keep drinking. So this is the next piece that we need to put on here. I'm kind of trying to measure it so it stays between these two neck pieces. I'm going to just flip it over. Comes down just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, remember to keep a lid on my glue. So it's going to get covered up with the umbrella, that body part, so it's okay. You just don't want to go too far, but you want to make sure the head, you know, that it clears the head part too. So, okay, now before we can, I have to look at this really close. So before we can put the head on, we have to put this piece of the umbrella on, because it's going to go over this paw, but it goes behind the cheek. So I think I messed that up on my first one and I had to redo it, and I remember thinking I gotta pay attention next time. That's why I said look at your, study that paper piece, or that, you know, the computer version, or your PDF, or your download that you get, and really pay attention to how your layers, what's going behind each other. So again, I want to make sure that's even back there. Next thing I'm going to put on before I forget it is this piece, just because if there's any part of the cheek that should not overlap, looking at the photo, but keep in mind the computer version is going to always be a little bit different than your finished version. So okay, I've got way too much glue up on the tip, so I need to get rid of some of that. I saw recently there was a new kind of fine tip glue. The tip is built right into the bottle, and I've been kind of thinking about checking it out, but I think it's fairly expensive, so I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I have that. While I have this glue out, I'm gonna take my the little tip here, try to put just a little bit of glue on the bottom of that tiny brown circle, put it right in the middle of my umbrella. Goes behind and just a little bit peeks out. And actually, this umbrella can go on now. You can kind of see it coming together. So I also need to find the cap for my art glitter glue. I came across it recently, and I'm going to find it today because my little system isn't working. I don't take the time to do that, and I really need to. I'm trying to convince myself to take the time to organize my paper a little better, because then I kind of know what I have, if I need to order some, and also gives me an idea, you know, if I'm thinking about making a layout, then I know what I have, but I haven't taken the time. So remember, this little piece down here is water. It's not just like a water drop. It's not going to be anything we need immediately. Oh, and I managed to ink the wrong side of my little paw, so I'm going to get a couple. I'll get a sponge dauber out of here. Oh, here, I bought a bunch of new ones, and I go back to the old ones just because they work well too. Get the right ink here. Yellow is a funny color for me. This is actually Daffodil Delight, and it wants to turn a little bit yellow or red, and I don't know why, because it doesn't show that otherwise. And I'm going to put some Hello Honey on it. I don't know if I have to. Might have to get a different sponge dauber yet, but it'll dry different color. I don't know if I'm sure you're aware of that. So it looks different now than what it'll dry. It's really crazy. Just the nature of the ink, I guess. And I'm okay because it'll just look like it's gotten more sun if it stays this color than the other piece, because the other piece is hidden more. It's not going to get near as much sun, so that's what we'll use for an excuse, right? Okay, now we're going to start on the head. I want to make sure I've got all my other pieces together, and I'm going to glue this on. I think this is just adorable. I like, my favorite pieces from KaDoodle Bug Designs are the cutie KaDoodles. I don't know what it is about them. They're whimsical, but they're fun. They work amazingly well for cards, and a while back I was gifted some really fun, just cute stamp scenes. They work for adults, kids, anything, from Kim Ferguson, and they work so well with these pieces. I love them. In fact, this card set, the When Life Gives You a Rainy Day, Play in the Puddles, that set was from that set she gave me. So I just thought for a paper piece video it was easier to show you a little bit larger piecing than the real small ones, so that's why I used that. Okay, now we have these two pieces for the beak, I guess we'll call it. So you have this funky piece and this piece, and they go together like this. So let me get those together, because I need those to figure out where I'm putting my eyes. And I'm going to assemble my eyes first. It's just easier for me. Okay. And then I'll take move that a little bit. These on first. If you like these videos with the paper piecing, please be sure to leave a comment. I will do more. I've had questions about it, and I've seen a lot of comments recently on Facebook about people having paper piecing questions and not really knowing how to put them together. And I didn't realize that, you take it for granted when you do it. I've had a few though lately. I've had to really sit down and think, okay, now how does this go together? Even looking at the photos. So I get where there are a lot of questions. So please, and I've always said, if you have a piece that you're not sure how to put together and want some help, let me know. I will do what I can. So I don't want to lose all my little pieces there. So now I'm going to work on the eyes and such first. I put my mouth down fairly far. It's up a little bit further, on the photo, but I keep mine quite far to the bottom. And I like to, that moved on me. Okay, I'm going to get a different tool out here. See if I can hold it better. I like to do this and place these first. So I'm going to try to, I know they have to go down a little bit. That didn't help either. And I don't use glue dots very much, so just kind of getting those where I want. That crazy mouth or duck bill just does not want to stay put today. Got a mind of its own. Again, I curve these in a little bit. I don't put them straight like this. Not sure what the deal is with that, but that's how I do it. Now this one, I know they go fairly close together, so just kind of turning it some. Okay, and then I'm going to do the eyes before I do anything further. Put my glue on here. I am doing something a little different. I have to find the chalk set here with the eyes. So just give you a little bit of an idea here. I'm going to find my, I'm taking some yellow and a little bit of orange using a very small pom-pom. These came with the Pebbles chalk set. But I'm going, first I have yellow, and I will probably have to erase quite a bit. So, and this is not going to show very much until I get more of the orange in there. So, but I'm just going around the eye with this, the same as I would with my black. And just, oh, that eye's not quite dry on there. Then I'm coming in with a little bit of orange. This one has a bigger pom-pom because I must have lost the other one, which is fine. It's going to be fairly big, and that's okay. It will get erased and get toned down here. I'm not sure I'm going to like this on this one, so I'm kind of playing with this a little bit. You get some ideas of kind of how I look at things, try to figure out what works best. Coming back in with some yellow again. That'll tone down that peach and orange. I'm going to use a little bit different yellow this time. Get some dust off of there. I've got the darker yellow again. Again, I'm not sure I'm sticking with this, so don't wonder what I'm doing yet. Just coming in to get some of the white cleaned up. I'm not sure I like this real well, so what I'm going to do, this is a bigger piece. I'm going to leave some of it on, okay? I'm not taking it all off. But I'm going to come back in with the black. Got some up there too. And this will give it a good start, but I am going to come in with black and definitely do black on this one, a little bit different. And I'll put some eyelashes on. I'm just trying to do it fairly thin if I can though. Get a thinner line. Oh, see? There I go. Ready to lose pieces again. Can't see that very well from a distance, so just do a little more. Feel free to speed the video up, jump ahead, whatever you want. This is how I go about figuring out what I'm doing and how I want to, you know, make my pieces come to life, so to speak. It's just sometimes it's a real learning process and just kind of play with it. So I need to come back and do some work over here. I'm going to leave them alone for now and see what I can do here. Sorry, I get incredibly quiet because I'm concentrating so hard on what I'm doing here. Yeah, I like it with the black better now. That's just my opinion. I think it was Kim Ferguson who had commented, because I'd mentioned until you do like the whites and stuff with the eyes, some of the paper pieces just look, I don't know. And she'd commented they look like little aliens, and I just laughed so hard. She was exactly right. Thank you, Kim, because that is no lie. They just like they're staring at you, and it just, I can't explain, but I don't like plain black eyes. I'm kind of strange that way. But, oh, I want to come in and put the cheeks on. Forgot about that part. I'm going to do a little bit lighter colors this time. So I'm using this bottom piece and this lighter pink, and I'm going to kind of do them together and see what I get. I might need to put just need to put a little bit of orange in that. Yeah. So I put the lighter color orange I have. And pebbles, chalks, covered differently. They take on, I don't know how to explain, but they go on different than I'm used to. The other chalk is a little bit different. I don't know what that I have, and I don't remember the brand. My chalks are all so old, but they last forever. And it could be that I need new pom-poms here. I just haven't refilled these. Let's see what we got going. I'm good with that. So we can put some more glue back on here. I don't know why lately I forget to do the cheeks first before I put the nose or the mouth or muzzle, the beak, whatever I'm working on. I forget to put that on first, and it really does help a lot. I'm going to come in and finish their eyes. So having his beak, or his or her beak, does help a little bit. It's still just Looks like a little alien staring at me. I put my white streak, my little arch here, in the blue when it's this big. And I just do my circles with the little dots. And I have to let all this white shell pen dry. So we'll just do a little here, and we'll do the little eyes. I want to put little freckles on my duck. As you can see, this is drying quite a bit different than it first looked. And I don't know if I didn't get enough glue up there or what the deal is, but it's not quite glued on good. So, and that happens. Plus I'm going over this, 2 layers of this on down. So you have to sometimes put extra glue on. And then I want to put some little white dots down here. Get my glue, my gel pen working again. And just looking a little bit. What's going on with my gel pen? It just doesn't want to work today either. Do you blame it? I did something I've never, well, should I say never? I haven't done in, I don't know how long, but I slept in incredibly late today. I was almost embarrassed. I was gone for a while yesterday, and I was so tired, so I slept. It felt good. Okay, so before I forget this little piece, I'm going to put that little piece on there. And then what I come back and do is the other little pieces I have of the rain splashes, come back and glue. And I'm going to do that. I want to let all the white gel work dry just a little more. So I'll show you here. I think I'm going to use the beacon. Gives me, again, more time. On the beak of the duck bill, I'm sure I used like a Hello Honey or a Daffodil Delight first, and then I use Peekaboo Peach on the outside, and then for the very edges to make it quite dark, I more than likely used I have Pumpkin Spice. That's what it's looking like, because it's quite dark, and that's got a little bit of a pumpkin spice. Has just a little bit of a red tinge to it. So, but I'm just gonna get these together. I may have lost one little piece. I'm not sure. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, nope, I'm good. First for everything. I have one more set of this, and that is the bear with the rain hat, and I will be doing the final piecing for that. As I do projects going forward, I'm going to try to do a few more paper piecing videos also, so you get an idea of what I'm doing there and how I put things together, and then I'll share with you the final piece. I'm not sure what order I'm going to be putting these videos up, because I'm doing a bunch at one time. I do have 2 scrapbook layouts ready to go, but one of them, I should say 1.5. I've got the pieces together for one. I have to figure out the paper I want to use, so that'll take me just a bit, but the one is ready to go, so I'll be doing that also. Oh, I did have that right then. So I've got a few things. I was waiting for some paper to come in on a few things I finished up, and yeah, so a lot of stuff to work on. So let's go ahead and get some chalk in here. What I do, I put my chalk in here, and I use my hand, I use paper, whatever I have, just to get a little bit of the excess off, because in this smaller area it's a little bit harder to get it off, and sometimes I'll even use the side that's probably not been used for a little bit, and I can buff it out more. So just some little hints there. Just put a little bit there. You won't, a lot of this you don't see real well, but I don't know, it works for me, so you can see it just a little bit. It's always a bonus when all your pieces, also you've used all the pieces you cut out, you know you got everything together right. Now I'm going to come in and try to buff this out a little bit in the center. What I used, where I put the highlighting, is more where it would be a higher piece that the light might hit it more, reflect off it more. But I try not to use a lot, because you can actually change the color of the paper also. But this does brighten it up a little bit, maybe not so much on camera, but in real life. But let me go ahead and get this black out of here, and you will see my finished piece. And this one goes over here more, and then my baby piece goes here, and then a piece here that you would just put on. So let's see if you can see it okay. Yep, that is my finished piece for this. And again, I will be back with the bear with the rain hat to finish that up, and also my Father's Day card that I did the paper piecing for, and then we'll get on to some layouts. So thank you all for joining me. Have an awesome day, everyone.